right, welcome to another Lightning Ventures interview. Today, I am lucky to have the very important, very pressed for time, very busy Cory from Swan Bitcoin. Okay, he is an ex-Googler. He is the author of The Daily Bitcoiner. Okay, he is the mastermind responsible for bringing you the amazing Bitcoiner jobs board that everyone in the world is so thankful for. He is one of the masterminds as well behind Bitcoiner Ventures, which is an awesome group of folks. He's an advisor to Unchained. He's an advisor to Riot Blockchain. And he just recently announced the Pacific Bitcoin Conference happening at the end of September in his native land of California. And I don't know where he finds time to sleep, but he found a couple of minutes to chat with us today, and we're thankful. How are you?
I'm good, Mike. I wish I had like a long accomplishment intro for you, but I didn't do my research.
I wish I had some accomplishments that you could cite.
Well, your hair is incredible.
Thank you. And I forgot that one. That's the most important part of Cory's intro is a fellow long hair, right?
Yes, indeed. All these hippies in Bitcoin.
Yeah. So thanks for chatting.
Yep.
Thanks for also giving us a small allocation for the Lightning Ventures Syndicate. I think we went live with it Thursday of last week, and the news is it's filled, right? So I wanted to get something in the archive with you anyways. This is our second time investing out of our anthill-sized Lightning Ventures Node 1 fund. And that's the thing is maybe you'll let us keep it open through the weekend, maybe not. We'll see. But either way, how is the raise going so far?
It's fine. I mean, I'm not going to talk about it probably publicly here, but yeah, I mean, we're in good shape. I think we can talk a little bit more about the company in general.
For sure.
But yeah, it's not a big imperative right now. Our Series B is planned for, I think we're going to start it in September. So this is just a convertible note leading into that.
Okay, so the big news yesterday, Fidelity, IRA, and unlocking retirement, that massive market, all right, that is untapped, that is ready to flow into Bitcoin. So word on the street is Swan is going to be entering this hard, and most of our questions revolve around that product.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't see an IRA angle. I did see the 401k news yesterday. Maybe that was what Fidelity had announced was company sponsored retirement plans, and saying that you could put up to 20% of your portfolio into Bitcoin basically is kind of their plan. So that's pretty awesome. The actual real Bitcoin, not an IOU in an IRA, is something that we think is a great product. A lot of demand for it. A lot of people talking about it. Living here in the USA, it's a great way to save with tax deferred or tax advantaged Bitcoin. And yeah, we're rolling that out. Should be in market in a big way, like the fully scaled, like very little manual effort required to take it live by Q3. Although we're already doing it at sort of a smaller scale, it's just a little bit more manual right now. But that's more on our side. It's more of a pain in the butt on our side. It's kind of the same for the clients. So yes, you can already put Bitcoin in an IRA with Swan, but we're launching widely in Q3.
So if somebody wanted to put Bitcoin in an IRA with Swan now, how would they go about doing that?
Just get in touch. I think that's probably the easiest thing because we don't have the front end built. So I'd say you'd probably just get in touch through Swan Private. So swanprivate.com, and just shoot a note and we'll set you up with an IRA.
Okay. So Q3 of this year, big rollout, entering into IRAs. Now you're an advisor to Unchained, and Unchained is in, or at least were, I don't know if that's
I'm homeboys with those guys. I'm not a current advisor. I have no inside information at Unchained. Our services started to overlap quite a lot as they got into selling Bitcoin last year. And obviously a lot of our customers require some of the things that they do. So I think I'm an investor and a former advisor with some equity and a super fan. Love the whole team, and had lunch with Drew a couple of weeks ago out here in LA, but no longer actively involved with Unchained.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense because you're both entering this IRA space.
Yeah, but we like those companies. I mean, anybody trying to do that, it just makes so much sense, you know. So I'm a fan of Ryan Radloff and the team at Choice, and they're putting lots of people in IRAs, and you know, go Fidelity. That's fine. Make it happen.
Okay, cool. So Swan does a lot of other things that aren't often really taken into consideration, right? You're just viewed as a DCA product. But I was wondering if in your own words, we could just chat about the Bitcoin gifting and the Bitcoin benefit plan, and maybe plans for that moving forward. How does that revenue work, and what kind of the idea was behind how that came about?
Yeah. Well, first I'd say that while probably like 2/3 of our customers, you know, in any given month are on a recurring purchase plan, it's only about 20% of the dollar volume. So most of the purchases are actually like larger one-time buys. So I think that may be like a little bit of a misconception. Over half our revenue comes from Swan Private versus the retail site. And we kind of serve, you know, high net worth individuals and family offices and small and medium-sized corporations around the world with that business. It's actually over half outside the US. So that's probably one thing that I think has changed a lot about Swan in the last, you know, year or so. We started Swan Private May 1st of last year. So it hasn't even been a year yet, a few days short of that. And it's over half our revenue. So that's pretty exciting. I expect Advisor to be similar. I think Advisor will be probably bigger than the retail site and the app plus Swan Private. Over time, I think that channel is just going to be absolutely massive for us. So it's a big, we've been building the Advisor business for a year now, with Andy Edstrom running it and Ryan Flan and a great team building out all the tech and the hooks into all these different wealth management platforms. And I think that's going to be absolutely huge. So the Bitcoin benefit plan is fantastic. Literally right after this, I am sitting down and doing the final scan of the press release, which will be pitched under embargo to some publications tomorrow and hopefully go out next week. But basically this is, as an employer, you can give Bitcoin to each of your employees as a fringe benefit. So instead of, you know, a gym membership or a meal plan or a bus pass or something, you can give them Bitcoin for, you know, $50 a month or $100 a month or something like that. So we have a couple dozen employers that have signed up for that already, just sort of in the pilot phase, and going to launch that really wide here next week, actually. So that should be really cool. And then I think you mentioned gifting. So yeah, obviously that's near and dear to my heart. The first product we put out with this company was in fall of 2019, which was Give Bitcoin. And then we shuttered it after Christmas of 2020, and then relaunched it as swan.com/gifts inside of Swan for Christmas of 2021. And it's just a really effective way to try to orange pill somebody in your network, like friends, family, colleagues, whatever. Give them some Bitcoin, and you know it's going to be followed up by a year of really good education from the Swan team and all our friends, you know, in their inbox, leading them down the bright orange path toward being a Bitcoiner. So yeah, that combination of like the education plus the gift and having a little skin in the game seems to have been really, really effective from everything we hear. Certainly works for me and my network.
So there's a lot here that I just want to unpack, because people think of Swan as the best, most fun auto withdrawals, DCA, low fees, prepay a year of fees for the small stacks. Okay. And what you're talking about here are the high net worth individuals, right? So I just want to see the difference between a Swan private client and the advisor services. Right? What is that threshold, and what are the different sort of products for each of those?
So I think you were teasing out the difference between, you know, what we would call like Swan retail and Swan private, because every single client of Swan Advisor is by definition a client of Swan private. It's Advisor is like a product and service layer sitting on top of Swan private. So that's one thing. I think the you know, the threshold that we use for Swan Private is you've bought $50,000 of Bitcoin with us, basically, and then you get kind of assigned to one of the MDs, like a Stefan Livera or Terrence Yang or Alex Stanzik, Stephen Lupka, one of those guys that's on the Swan Private team. There's 7 of them now, actually maybe 8. Yeah, there's Ryan Flynn, Dante Cook, and John Haar as well, just came over from Goldman. So I think, people who are buying a lot of Bitcoin, and we have people that have bought, I don't think we have somebody over 100 million. We've got somebody close to 100 million. But these people that are buying, a mil, 2 mil, 10 mil, whatever, they want somebody to talk to. They want somebody to talk about Bitcoin in their portfolio, talk about their strategy, talk about complicated trusts and inheritance and multi-sig setups and entity accounts and all these different ways that they want to think about Bitcoin in their portfolio for themselves, their family, and their companies. And you need a really strong, intelligent advisor to work through that stuff with, and it's not going to be their normal money manager. Those people don't know enough about Bitcoin and they don't care. So yeah, that's kind of the main thing. I mean, we will always do an incredible job with the website and with the app. I think, that's where a lot of the power of Swan comes from, is just having this beautiful user experience that is just like, my 80-year-old grandma can get out her phone and her license and sign up for a Swan account in 3 minutes. It's just that easy. And, big buy buttons, no sell button, no other coins, no trading interface. It's just simple. So I really like having that on-ramp out there for the beginner. I think it'll get even more exciting as the app actually rolls out. And you've probably been playing around with the test flight, or some of your friends have over the last couple of months, but we'll get that out there later in Q2. And then later this year, it'll actually have a Lightning wallet built into it. And one of the cool things that we'll do there is like, we'll automatically load some Lightning sats right onto your wallet, like right when you sign up. So you'll have something to kind of, send to a friend or tip with or whatever as you sign up. So I think that is kind of the one thing, using Bitcoin for payments right out of the gate, along with owning some and along with getting educated about it. I think that's kind of like that's the trifecta.
Cory has done such an incredible job of bridging the traditional finance products with what was an early stage Bitcoin company. So that private client experience that those people are used to, bringing that to them is awesome. So for the advisor services, can you go into, and I had a chance to hang out with Terrence in Miami. He's definitely a character and a lot of good positive energy. The Swan Advisor services, now how does that work? You're reaching out, you're getting traditional money managers and you're working with them. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's about $100 trillion under management for RIAs in the United States. So a big chunk of money. I'm sorry, not 100 trillion. Is it? Yeah, it's something like that. Anyway, it's some massive amount of money. I think it is 100 trillion, I believe. And so these platforms, this is like, New Edge out of Connecticut might have like a couple $100 billion, or Mariner, Edelman, these different RIAs. And then there's also the big wirehouse brokerages like the Schwabs and the TD Ameritrades and the Morgan Stanleys and the Edward Jones and all those kinds of ones that you've heard about that stadiums are named after. And the RIAs are, a lot of them are very sort of independent, make their own choices, even down to the office level. So you can kind of get into those firms from the sort of top down, or break them off and kind of go after them at an individual level. And what you need to do is you need to equip them with enough knowledge about Bitcoin to be able to talk to their clients about it, or earn their trust enough that they let you talk to their clients about it. And then you need to have all of the dashboard connections, the reporting, the tax treatments, and sort of all of that kind of built into what they use in their daily life. So, you try to knock out, 2 or 3 tools that might cover 60 or 70% of the market. And then, maybe 6 months later, you build another integration that knocks off another 10%, and eventually you kind of have full coverage. But we're launching with like 15 to 20 of these RIAs, about 200 billion under management for that sort of initial cohort. We'll make sure we get all the kinks out with those sort of friends of the firm, and get live and get a bunch of clients and build a bunch of case studies and sort of merchandise the shit out of it, and then go much wider in the second stage.
As far as the OTC experience, Um, do you see Swan competing with like Kraken in a lot of these large OTC desks? Is it a different market? Are you not going after that market? Can you compete fee wise on that level?
I think it's just different. I mean, most of the crypto exchanges are serving like degen crypto traders or hedge funds, trading funds, essentially prop trading desks, stuff like that, that are essentially trying to arb across different exchanges. And, they're looking for API connections and like they want to have, every single coin listed ideally. They're not looking at Bitcoin only. They don't care about education. They don't care about service. They don't care about much really, except for like best price, best execution, and in speed, essentially, of your API connections and stuff like that. So I think it's just a very different market. Like we don't even think about or talk to the same type of customers at all. A lot of the crypto funds send their family and friends to us because they're insiders and they know the game, and they know they don't want to send people they actually love and care about to a crypto exchange. So they send them to Swan instead.
So as far as the education goes, you've put a lot into that. Newsletters, Swan Signal, everything that you're doing. Do you find that the education really drives users? Do you
We wouldn't
find that
have
that's
anything
been,
without it. I don't think we'd have anything without
well,
it.
you created probably the best referral program maybe ever in the business, right? And then you had a killer string of amazing advisors that all were podcasters and influencers and just amazing Bitcoiners, right? So I feel like you would have built this anyways, even without
Mm-mm.
that.
No, I don't think you don't get people wanting to recommend you unless they think that those people are going to be well treated once they get to you. So the education is kind of the key to getting somebody to want to sign up as an affiliate, right? Like, why would like Lynn Alden or Max and Stacy or Breedlove or any of these people like send all their Bitcoin buying friends and contacts to Swan if we didn't have any education? Like, no, the whole point is you got the education, you got the community, you've got the trust, and you only earn the trust and the referrals if people actually see that proof of work. So we have to get out there and talk about Bitcoin every day and write about it and make videos about it, make movies about it, go give speeches about it, film webinars about it. Like, you've got to talk about it all the time. That's how you earn your crowd. Like, you have to be a media business to build a big trusted brand.
So when is the app gonna come out of test flight?
Honestly, just working through Apple Store approvals at this point. It's been kind of a pain, but I think we finally cracked the nut on that. So I don't know, this quarter.
Awesome.
I'm using
So
it. It's beautiful. I love it in test flight. And you can just hit me up if you want to jump in there. We've got a Telegram group. I'm sure Mike has it too. If you want to be a beta tester for the app, you can download it. And it's, 90% functionality right now.
very cool. I'm personally so excited about the IRA and the advisor services and the team that you've put together to go after it. Every person I've ever met from Swan has just been absolutely amazing. You continue to build the best team out there and the best list of advisors, right? The best list of investors. It's a who's who for sure. So question from the syndicate, which I feel like you've answered this many times, but why not? As far as a moat, right, on your core business of the dollar cost averaging, which after what we discussed, I don't think that is your core business moving forward, right? Because there's a lot of other things. We didn't even talk about the API. I don't know if you want to even touch on how
Yeah,
that works.
we can talk about that. And I can divine, I think, what the question is like defensibility of like a retail stacking service, and can that be like a big profitability driver into the future. So first I'll say in the long run, it's like fees should trend towards zero. You would think that they would, but the bigger the brand is, the less you kind of have to worry about that. So all we've seen, I expected fee compression a long time ago, and all we saw since we got into the business was Coinbase app and Cash App both raised fees. So and we lowered fees. So we're at like 99 bips across the board now. We don't have tiers of, 1.49, 1.79, whatever it was before. It's all just 99 bips, which is, just under 1% transaction fees. Honestly, with something that moves like 2% in 10 minutes, 10% in a day, like nobody cares. Like if they're comfortable buying from you and that's your business model, that's just how it's going to be. So I don't think that that's been like a big issue at all. I like having people in recurring purchase plans. I just think it's good. I think it's the best way to buy Bitcoin. I like knowing that I bought Bitcoin today, and that's the case every single day. It's like get some exercise, see your kids, talk to somebody about Bitcoin, and buy some Bitcoin. Like it's a good day. So I like that. And then the other thing you were asking about is powered by Swan, which is our API, and basically making a Swan purchasing experience show up inside other apps. It's been a big deal, as you can tell. I mean, this was Trezor's big announcement at the Bitcoin conference, was announcing that they had built, we together had built Swan into Trezor. We'll be showing up in the Fountain app, so you can buy Bitcoin and buy sats right inside Fountain, the value for value podcasting app. We're in Hexa Wallet. Spectre Desktop has a beautiful Swan integration. You can sign up for plans. You can make big purchases, like whatever you want to do. Anyway, we've got another dozen of those coming. Basically, all your favorite Bitcoin startups that either you or I have invested in, are mostly doing Swan on-ramps inside the apps.
Wow. So the Swan buys inside these apps, okay? And look, this is towards the end. All right, we can cut it. I think everyone has the bigger picture idea.
Okay. It's okay, bro. My next meeting is just Brady. We can go over a couple minutes.
Okay.
It's just Brady, Citizen Bitcoin.
So look, I love that, okay? Because my most hated, I hate Moon. Okay. Not pay with Moon, of course, but the credit card sort of way to buy Bitcoin in a lot of these wallets. Okay. And I love the fact that now you can do that. All right. I'm definitely curious on how that process works, right? Because it's an ACH deal, right? So do I already need a Swan account, right? Inside that Hexa wallet? I've never use that.
No, you sign up, you basically sign up for Swan inside of Hexa or inside of Spectre or inside of Trezor. You sign up for the Swan account right there. You never leave.
So if I'm already a Swan client, I'm just logging in?
I think so. I don't know how it exactly works. They worked it all out. Ask Pablo or Jan.
I'm just wondering on that ACH transfer. That's
oh yeah.
that's
I mean, it recognizes if you're a Swan client. That's my understanding. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, you have the Pacific Bitcoin Conference. You're now an advisor, or at least somehow on the team of the El Zonte Capital Group.
Oh no, I'm a GP. It's me, Max, and Stacy.
You're a GP.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you find
that one's a committed capital fund, unlike Bitcoiner Ventures, which is just just our syndicate. But yeah, we're doing a $10 million seed and A fund for El Zonte Capital.
Awesome. And you're still raising that now, or that's closed?
Yeah, we literally started. I think it went live Friday night, so just started. Got about 3 in so far. So
awesome. And the Pacific Bitcoin Conference?
Yes, sir. Pacific Bitcoin Conference will be in Los Angeles, California. We'll announce the locked-in dates in the next week or so. It's actually looking like it's probably going to be November 10th and 11th rather than late September. But basically, the idea is just to give Bitcoiners a place to hang, kind of like a giant swan dome. 3,000 to 5,000 people. Lots of fun things to do, great speakers, and just like a really good hang. And hopefully we'll catch like a little bit of late summer, early fall, good weather still out here in Southern California when the rest of the country is getting kind of cold. Pacific Bitcoin Conference is because we're also opening the doors and encouraging people to come over from Taiwan, Singapore, Japan, and come over from APAC, Australia, New Zealand, and then also all of Latin America. So it'll be kind of like a heavy Mexico, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Colombia presence at the conference, mixing it up with all us Norteamericanos.
Awesome. And if you haven't signed up for Swan, We have a Lightning Ventures link down there, and you can read the amazing free ebook. You can hang out in the Swan Signal and hear from the best experts out there. And if you're in this group, you're probably a Swan private client member, or will be soon, I hope. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for letting us participate, and thanks for shooting the breeze with me.
Absolutely, man. It's great to see you. And thanks for having me on. And thanks to all the great Lightning Ventures folks for your support in the last round and in this one. And we hope to keep on this great path toward building what I hope will be the first consumer facing Bitcoin only public company in the US. That's our goal. So we will keep doing our best.
All right, man.